While we were standing there, I looked down the track and I thought I saw footprints. Now, I'm no tracker, but they looked like footprints to me.
And quite fresh ones at that. Yeah, I nearly fell over. I couldn't believe it. There was only one possible suspect, and that was Robert.
It was pure luck, and immediately the hope was raised that maybe he's still alive.
The discovery of his footprints puts the search party only days behind Robert.
We certainly have footprints. They are barefoot. They are obviously since the last rain or since the last significant wind. Can you land on this road, or do you need us to clear you a pad?
Tracker Joel Hardin, who's been searching further south, immediately flies up to verify the footprints.
As we approached, I was hoping that this would be Robert's sign. So I started following the sign afoot rapidly down the road and had not gone very far until, boom, you could see where they stood on one foot and put on the sandal, and then on the other foot put on the other sandal. Not only were we on his sign, but I could tell by looking at the sign that it was less than 24 hours old.
As the search team closes in on Robert, his situation is becoming precarious. On average, a human cannot survive more than 3 days without water. But Robert has now endured 10 and had his last meal 32 days ago. Critically, the lack of water in Robert's blood is now causing his kidneys to fail. Without water, the unfiltered toxins will start to increase dramatically, resulting in organ failure.
I started feeling dizzy, lightheaded. Everything was just bright, like there was 7 suns shining, and everything just white. From that point, I had a lot less energy, a lot less strength to walk.
As soon as we discovered those footprints, the media started chartering helicopters and flying them from Broome out to the desert.
Instead of having just these American resources and a few police resources, all of a sudden we had Channel 7, Channel 9, everyone else with choppers flying across there. All these eyes. It was fantastic.
This is another one of those instances in which Garrison just shined. He just told the helicopter pilot, either you work for us or you get out of here, one or the other. You put our people in the helicopter and you can film anything you want.
3 days later, Garrison's strategy suddenly pays off.
One of the media helicopters flew around pretty much following the line that we had been following, and north of where we were working the sign, they spotted a blue tarp under a bush.
That's cool. Mate, I can't figure out why he's leaving all this equipment here.
It has since been positively identified as Robert Bukuki's. Without his kit, I rate his chance of survival as 72 hours or less out here.
The whole idea of 40 days in the desert obviously has biblical connotations, and when Robert's Bible was found, I did wonder whether the fact of him putting the Bible down meant that he'd given up on his faith.
I left it because it was heavy. And, you know, that was a very simple decision to leave it.
I still wasn't convinced that he was going to be alive. He still had a long, long, long way to go to get out. But he'd done a lot more than I thought any human would do. So I was hopeful.
Helicopters were flying over. I thought, well, this is a beautiful place that I'm in. People must be sightseeing out here, you know. Helicopters are flying tourists out. I realized that I needed to do the most difficult thing.
In search of water, Robert has been following a dry creek bed. Now, in his weakened state, he will need to negotiate a steep ravine.
It had been 2 weeks without water, except for 2 cups of tongue wettings. I couldn't swallow, I couldn't talk, everything was gunked up in my throat. I saw lizards crawling up and down this rock. I said, wait a minute, they're looking for water.